Yeah. It's getting crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, look and find your way, man. Find your way, man. Look and find your way. Yeah, take a look around you, look and find your way, man. Look and find your way. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of means to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your house like it's topical. Now the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines when you find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Thin privilege is a very real and harmful thing.
Ho, ho, ho.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you want me to put something in your stocking?
Take a step back.
I'm not going to take any advice from any of these fucks.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Full Norman.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Ooh, well.
The following program.
I said welcome everyone. Sheesh, double intro. Welcome everyone to episode 24 24 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because we're not flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and y'all hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everesting K2, flexing on all you be.
Fucking Catalina wine.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, I am cold as fuck, by the way, if you haven't noticed. A lot of you are much, much colder than me, but drop in the comments down below, what are you smashing today? I don't care if it's Swolemas. What are you doing? You're doing some mobility. You're doing some yoga. What are you doing? What are you smashing? What are you training? Drop in the comments down below. Welcome, everyone, to the greatest mancast in the realm. I am your host, Santa Swolio. And today we have a Red, White, and Swole Q and Anus. We are just taking a lot of questions today. We got some, so you can start dropping in the comments down below. Merry Christmas, Merry Swolemas, and a upcoming New Year, which we are kicking off this Thursday, so be ready for that. We got some awesome new shit that we're dropping. Reminder, tomorrow, even though we have all the releases dropping on Thursday instead of tomorrow, we're going to have an awesome time with the Swole fam. So tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time, we have our accountability meeting. We don't skip a day. We don't skip a week. We never skip. We never miss. So tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, December the 26th, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, private for members only. So don't miss out. Join us today, swolenormousx.com, and get access to all the private live streams. So we got a private live stream on Thursday. We got overtime coming up again on Friday. So don't miss out on any of that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's bust the nut open. Let's get the questions going. Drop in the comments down below, hashtag AskPapaSwolio. But before we do, let's summon the Falcon and get today's party started. Hello. Hello, Falcon. Hello, Falcon. All right, fam-wise, Merry Swolemas. Drop in the comments down below, and we'll give away the Swole card at the end of today's episode, as we always do. So drop that hashtag, and we will give it away at the end of the show. So question time. Today is the Red, White, and Swole Sunday Fun Day Q and Anus. Just happens to line up with Merry Swolemas. We got a little Tainty Man in the house, rocking the Tainty Cam. He's so cute. He's so damn cute. So him and Church are both 1 year old. So they had their birthdays. So now they're old. They're old pups. Old pups. They're no longer puppies anymore. They grew up so fast. All right. I hope you are enjoying your day with friends, family. Hope you're getting some rest, having a great workout. Let's get into some first questions. Tyler, what happens to those who are on your naughty list? Well, you only find out if you're on the naughty list. So there's that. Not everyone's going to know. Not everyone will find out. Ortiz F13 on YouTube. How can I work on my hip flexors and IT band syndrome? Well, you need to mobilize and you need to strengthen. So I would do some weighted knee raises, with a kettlebell, with a monkey foot, or some ankle weights. I would make sure you're strengthening your hip flexors. You could also do it from a seated position and use like a yoga block for some hurdles, raising your legs straight back over. It's hard to explain on a podcast just with audio, but hip flexors need to be strong and they need to be lengthened. So couch stretch is a great one for lengthening the hip flexors, but you need to mobilize and strengthen. And mobility is strength through a full range of motion. So it's different than flexibility. It's not just stretching. So even doing things like, for example, yoga is fantastic, but you also want to be practicing mobility where you're strengthening the muscles through the full range, through its weakest points of contraction. That way you are strengthening all the weakest points of your chain. So there's a lot of great stretches like the pigeon pose. You could do that on an incline bench. You could do it weighted. There's a lot of great things. You could do butterfly stretch against the wall. In other words, you want to stretch and strengthen your adductors, your abductors, all aspects of your hip, your flexors and extensors also. Just some ideas, but make sure you're not just stretching them. A lot of people just stretch and be like, hey, well, it's going to get better. It's going to go right back the way it was because you still have the strength and balance. Frank, what's wrong with eating tomatoes as in marinara sauce? Well, tomatoes are a nightshade, so they're going to cause many people issues. It's a fruit though, however, but seeds and the peel, you might want to remove those. Plus a lot of people get like acid reflux and things like that from tomatoes. I personally don't eat them. I don't miss them at all. But I mean, it depends on what else you're putting in the sauce. You know, when it comes to when it comes to certain foods, you have to think about, okay, what's going to benefit you, what's going to cause you issues, and what's not going to necessarily benefit you or cause you problems. So ideally, you want to consume the foods that are going to give you, that are all going to serve a purpose. A lot of times people consume filler foods that maybe don't really serve them positively, but don't serve them negatively either. They just kind of take up stomach space. So it really depends on how you're, what your focus is and what you're really trying to achieve. I'm wondering, what are you putting that on? That's really probably the most concern is like, what are you using marinara sauce on? Let's see. Dear Santa Swolio, how can I get a new supply of vegan tears? Oof. I would recommend, man, vegan tears. They're hard to come by, to be honest. I mean, you really have to go to densely populated areas, urban centers usually. You probably need to go to New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Austin. These are popular areas where vegans tend to congregate. That's the easy part, are finding vegans, but at the same time, extracting the tears properly. And the distillation is the most important aspect of it. Because, I mean, you could find a vegan. There are many vegans out there. Depends on what level of vegan. Sometimes people just say they're vegan or plant. You don't want to get anyone that's plant-based. You want to get someone that, especially if you get like a female that doesn't shave any body parts, you really want something to that level, because there's always a loss in the extraction. So you're going to lose the purity. So if you start with a lower quality, your finished product is going to be wanting. But we can get into that in more detail. I don't think it's not safe for YouTube to explain. Yeah, a lot of people have, there are other like eggplant, tomatoes, white potatoes. These are all of the nightshade family. You could look this up. A lot of people have issues with nightshades that don't realize it. Cerny says, I have nightmares when I eat tomatoes. That's common. More common than people think. Let's see. Tyler's off to the races today. Papa Soul, you're familiar with the vegan teacher? I remember seeing a video or two on TikTok, but wasn't she banned? Such bullshit from her. She doesn't want any fucking meat. That's fine. More for me. Some people probably, I encourage that. I encourage that. If someone wants to vehemently oppose other people eating meat, then fine. You're going to remove yourself from the gene pool pretty quickly. So I think it strengthens our society if people go vegan. It's just going to increase the resulting overall intelligence if people just remove themselves. Hey, I want to destroy my health, and like, okay, have fun with that. people also do paragliding and the squirrel suits and stuff like that. So there are a lot of people that proactively remove themselves from the gene pool. Darwin Awards. All right. Mary Swolmus. Booger Bubble needs some armpit hair that's braidable. Oof. The
little rascal has spirit.
Braidable armpit hair.
You make me happy.
You can braid it, and then when you wave someone goodbye, it's like ding, 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 ding. They're like clinking together. Gross. Let's see. Okay. Wax, what is one of your Christmas traditions? Don't really have any. Same. For me, it's the same as any other day. We're not doing anything. We've done stuff in the past with like sort of family, but this year just chilling. We'll probably watch a movie or something like that. Make a steak. I mean, that's my Christmas tradition. That's kind of like any day that ends in DAY is going to be eating a fucking steak. Steak. Making some gains. I'm not religious or anything like that. I don't. So it's just it was always, it was always what I did grow up with, like, the tree and presents, but it was just from that aspect. It'll be different. It'll be different when we have kids, because I think it's a fun thing. Because I have those memories. Sneaking out in the middle of the night and seeing like the tree and presents. So, kids have like the magic around it and stuff like that. I think it's different when you have a family. But to each their own. It is another day though. It is another day. If anything, and like I said on Twitter, I post on Twitter if you use Twitter @Swolenormous, but I said just because you're spending time with friends and family, that's totally fine. Spend time with friends and family, but you don't have to eat toxic waste. It's not like, oh my God, it's the 25th. Let me eat trash. You can still take care of yourself and spend time with people. It doesn't have to be stuffing face with garbage to spend time with people. Just keep that in mind. Let's take a question from GG. You're live on the Mancast, the greatest Mancast in the realm. Did I mention that before? I think I did.
Hey bro, how are you? What are you doing?
Good.
I just want to ask you, are you married? Because I have a woman that wrote you. Yeah, bro. See you.
That reminds me, I need to get some more guns. I think I need to get some more guns.
America! Fuck yeah!
I think I need to pick up another rifle. All right, that just got me distracted. I was thinking about. Let's move on. Let's take another call. Let's see if we can. From KJ. KJ, hello.
Hello. How's it going,
shit.
Swolio?
Hello.
I love your hair, just so you know. I have a question, though. It's a fitness question. So
Finally.
I am in the middle of my fat loss journey. And by middle, I mean like 3/4 of the way through. I've
Nope.
lost about
You're never
80
done.
pounds, and I'm trying to lose another 40. And this is all of fat, and I've been doing good, but that last 40 is kicking my ass. And I'm just plateauing like a bitch. Now it's the holiday season, so I'm drinking, and I know I'm doing everything wrong. But how do you get to being more and more serious for that last bit of fat? Because my God, it's pissing me off. I don't know. That's my question.
All
Happy
right.
holidays.
Likewise, happy holidays, you KJ. Well, I'm gonna lay some knowledge cock, so you might want to put up your dukes. How about not eating garbage and not trashing yourself? You just said you're doing everything wrong, so what do you expect to happen? What do you expect to happen? I'm gonna give you a Matt Damon for that.
Matt Damon.
Just one though, just one. What do you expect to happen? Okay, again, a couple things there. 3/4, you're never done. This weight loss journey shit. I think I'm done with it. I think I'm done. I know I use the term sometimes because it's just such vernacular. I'm so tired of this weight loss journey. Weight loss journey. How about improving health, improving lifestyle, improving habits journey? It doesn't fucking matter. This, I'm on my weight loss journey. You're not 3/4 of the way through. I mean, are you 60 years old? You're still going to continue after. Again, when you have these limited, like narrow vision weight loss attainment, it's not satisfying. You're going to hit that number. You're going to feel the same. Are you developing yourself as an individual? Otherwise, you're still going to be depressed and bummed out about it. You're not going to know what to do afterwards, because then you're going to hit that number. You're probably going to gain some weight after that. You're probably going to fluctuate. You might not do it that's maintainable, because you're not, if you're just trying to get that number down, you're probably not going to set the proper habits. You're going to have some cracks in your foundation. You're going to gain the weight back because you might be doing something that's long-term unsustainable. So enough of the 3/4 through, enough of the weight goals, and that's fine. I know. In other words, you want to lose extra body fat. So I understand that. Doesn't mean that you don't want to achieve that. Okay, but what are you doing? So KJ, if you're looking at the 7 pillars, swolenormousx.com, download the 7 pillars. Your nutrition, you said, is not on point. So number 2 is lacking. Training, I don't know. Recovery, mobility, probably not. You said it's a holiday season or whatever you're doing. Consistency is definitely not there. You're not hitting your 7 pillars. So you need some tough love. I know you're saying, well, how do you get the whatever, that last little bit? I mean, 40 pounds, I don't know all the details from your question. It just sounds like you're frustrated and you are setting you're weighing or you're judging your success based on the number. So in my opinion, you're heading in the wrong direction. Not that you're not making progress, and I'm proud of you for putting effort into it, but because your fundamental habits and the 7 pillars aren't there, you're missing the point. And that's my take on it. From what information you gave me, I'm happy to go into more detail if you want to give a little more context, if you want to call back in, but you're missing the details. You're missing the point. You're missing what you should be focusing on, which will result in the rest of that weight coming off. And also, here's the thing. A lot of people that pick a weight, hey, I want to lose 40 pounds. I want to lose 80 pounds. You pick this when you're morbidly obese and it's an arbitrary number. And why do you pick a number? I always say this, no one chooses to lose. I want to lose 67 pounds. I'm going to try to lose 71 pounds. I'm going to lose 38 pounds. It's always 25, 50, 75 or whatever, 100. It's always a flat number. It's arbitrary. It's some distant, vague memory of you stepping on a scale when you were like in high school or college or before you had like 3 fucking kids or something like that 20 years ago. It's some irrational number that you just pick out of a fucking hat. So it's not an important metric. You want to lose body fat. It's more about the body fat percentage rather than the body weight. Because if you're building muscle, that weight is not going to necessarily be the same. If you were 125 pounds, but you never worked out and you were just younger, then you had 20 years of compounding bad habits. Now you're building muscle, lifting and working out. You're probably not going to get down to that weight. With your height and your overall mass, building muscle, that weight might be irrational. So when I was doing personal training, I used to say, would you rather be 150 to, let's say, a woman who wanted to be 125 pounds. Let's say she was 180, she wanted to be 125, just random numbers. I said, how would you feel if you looked exactly the way you wanted to? Your good body fat percentage, the ass, the legs that you wanted, you were like on point. This was like your dream physique. And the scale said 150. And she was like, and I was like, you're fucking retarded. Women are so, and I'm not saying across the board, but most women, pretty much anyone, even men too, are so locked into the fucking scale. They just don't understand it. This is why it's important to understand why you're doing what you're doing and the details. It's important to understand the science behind it. To a point. But if you look exactly the way you want and you're 150, who the fuck cares? Who cares what the scale says? I don't really go, I step on the scale once in a while and it's usually a surprise to me. I'm like, oh shit, I'm 205 or oh shit, I'm 210. I must be like eating a lot of food. Like I look in the mirror, sometimes I look a little, softer. Sometimes I look a little more shredded sometimes. And it's based on what? Me fluctuating what I'm eating or my training or whatever, the time of day or the lighting. I don't put too much stock in it. I go by my performance and how I overall feel. And it usually and how you feel is going to vary from day to day. It's much more important to monitor and regulate your energy levels and how you feel first thing in the morning, your quality of sleep, because you're going to be up and down. You want to decrease the amplitude. You don't want to have super high highs and super low lows. You want to kind of narrow down the amplitude, the distance, the change in your highs and lows. you're still going to have ups and downs day to day, but the most important thing is that you're regulating that from the inside, because it's going to keep you more consistent. It's going to keep you better for relationships and for other, things that you need to execute on. It's going to keep you more centered. But the scale is such bullshit. It's a cool measurement in the sense that it's one dimension. You can use the scale as in addition to other things, but people don't do that. People don't do circumferential measurements. They don't do them regularly or properly. They don't do body fat percentage because they can't do it accurately at home. They just don't do it. So you're stepping on a scale and it's bullshit. It really is not very useful if you're not doing the 7 pillars. Just like counting your calories is not very useful. Fact, if you're not eating quality foods. It doesn't mean that the scale can't give you information. It does. It just gives you very black and white, non-descriptive information. It doesn't tell you about all the other habits you're forming. Stepping on the scale doesn't tell you that you're doing great improving your sleep. It doesn't tell you that your hormones are in better balance. It doesn't tell you that your mobility has improved. It doesn't tell you that your strength has improved. It doesn't tell you blah, 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 blah. It just gives you one fucking thing. One fucking thing. Okay, let's get into... All right, Will, Papa Swolio, thank you for the call, KJ. I'm curious to hear more about what you're doing, so hopefully that helped and hopefully that will knock you into gear. Will, Papa Swolio, first off, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you, as to you. Second, I know this might be a tricky question, but what are some movements to improve straightening my back on deadlifts so I can prevent arching? Arching, you mean rounding? You mean your back is round? You need to strengthen your extensors, strengthen your hip flexors. Your hip flexors are weak. Your hamstrings might be tight. Your glutes might be weak. In other words, your stabilizers and your strength, your mobility around your hip is limited. So if your back is rounding like a cat, if that's what you mean, arching is the other way. So if you're trying to flatten your back out more, you're not able in that position when you're bending your hamstrings. Your hamstrings are probably tight and they're posteriorly tilting your pelvis. So stretching and strengthening your hamstrings, doing Jefferson curls, doing mobility in that sense is important, but also stretching and strengthening your hip flexors so it can, in that position, can anteriorly tilt your pelvis. So you're having trouble anteriorly tilting in that position. It's probably because of weak and tight hamstrings, as well as, in other words, the strength around the joint. So it's not just if one muscle on one side is weak, the other one is comparatively shortened and stiff and or too strong in comparison. So you need to strengthen and mobilize the anterior and posterior portions of your hip. Could also have to do with the adductors too. A lot of people have very tight groin. Most people don't do proper groin mobility. Adductors. So that can help tremendously. Of course, strengthen your back. Doing seated good mornings can be beneficial. That's a great way to strengthen the spinal erectors in your back and train it to keep it fat. Just make sure flat. That's very important too. Just some ideas as well. I would also check out the hip mobility masterclass, hip, knee, and ankle mobility masterclasses in Swolenormous X too. Oh, that was nice. Come on.
I gave
Merry
it
Swolemas species.
a 10. A fucking 10.
Let's fucking go. Let's get a little tainty man here. Christmas taint. Oh my God. Dude, why you gotta be so cute? It's really unbecoming. So cute. Holy shit, so fucking cute. So cute. Oh God, you're adorable. You're adorable little tainty man. Let's get some biceps and gorillas for the tainty man. Look at him. All snug in his bed. Visions of liver and beefs in his head. 1 year old. He's an old man. He's an old man. Uncle Sam's Devil. Interesting. Papa Swolio, I'm 24 years old, very fit and lift 5 to 6 days a week, but have had some health issues and injuries. I have arthritis in my lumbar spine. Any advice on how to manage it and still train as much? Well, you need to pivot how you're training. Are you practicing mobility? I would say it depends on what the issues are or what the limitations are, but mobility for your lumbar spine, a little bit of what we were just talking about with the hip mobility, but also your nutrition. Arthritis, a lot of times can be, you can have flare-ups due to autoimmune issues based on what you're consuming and your nutrition. So I don't know what your nutrition is like. You might not look at that enough, but I would definitely get after that. Repairing anything with like leaky gut, making sure you're removing inflammatory foods that could be flaring up your joints, get rid of like pasteurized dairy, get rid of processed sugars and gluten and grains. These are things to test in an elimination diet. But mobility is important. If you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't mobilize your back and don't strengthen these muscles around it, it's not going to get any better. It's going to continuously get worse, in my opinion. Yoga is also fantastic for you. Let's see. Wax says women want to lose, getting back to the scale thing. Men want a higher number on the scale. A lot of men want a lower number on the scale too. A lot of people just want less. They think I want to lose weight. You have to correct that. You want to lose body fat. You want to build muscle and use extra body fat. A lot of people just want to get rid of extra. But yeah, a lot of guys want to bulk up. They want more muscle. So instead of gaining weight and losing weight, we need to talk about losing fat, building muscle. Get more specific. Ryan says BMI is complete shit. I think it's great for someone who's the average person that doesn't do anything. So it's a pretty accurate measurement. But if you lift weights, it's not accurate because of muscle mass. So I'll be obese or overweight on a BMI because it's just height and weight. So when you have more lean mass, it's not accurate. So agreed. That's right, Joe. I only set a number when I was 433 pounds as a ballpark figure of where I wanted to be at. The scale is only one tool in the whole toolbox. Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with, like, if you're 433 pounds, you're going to have to get past 400 for sure. But if Joe set all his worth and all his success based on him getting to 200, one, that's too much of a long-term goal. He needs to have more, in place. But if he doesn't have the fundamentals, he's never going to get there. And 200, my point is that picking a number, a lot of people pick a number at the beginning. They don't adjust it. They don't do it properly. They just pick a number that sounds good based on a memory they have or just an arbitrary thing. It's like a flat number, 100 pounds. They don't realize how substantial of weight loss that is. Even if they need to lose 100 pounds, they don't realize how much of a massive undertaking that is. And they don't set the proper fundamentals. And they don't understand the concept of muscle weight and things like that. So you just don't want to set all your progress and all your success based on what that number is. Because again, let's say you get to that number. Joe, did you hit officially, like you're at your weight goal? What you are right now? I know we talked about this with your story before. Where are you at right now? Did you hit your weight goal? And psychologically, how did that feel for you? Because obviously the reason why I always talk about this is because if you have, hey, I want to get to 200 and you get there, it's like, okay, now what? Just maintain. It's just not inspiring. Like your mindset has to shift. There's nothing wrong with having a goal and attaining it, but people need to shift and realize how underwhelming it's going to be once you finally get there. It's going to be like, yay, now what? It's not long-term enough, but I want to hear more from Joe. Take more from someone who has experienced it. Kim, my body has changed big time. However, the number on the scale hasn't changed drastically. I'm cool with it because I feel like $1,000,000. I've gained serious muscle, so the scale is useless for me. There you go. Good. And again, it's a tool. It's just one. And when someone asks me, what's the best piece of equipment to have? Well, they're all tools. There's some items in my gym that I use once in a while for specific things like floor sliders. I use them for mobility training. I don't use them all the time. There's certain pieces of equipment that I use for one specific activity. It's just a very valuable activity, and having the tool, it's like having if you're a mechanic or you do yard work or you do any kind of repairs, having the tool that you need when you need it is priceless. Oh, I need this wrench or I need this socket, and you go and you have that item. You might not use it all the time, but when you need it, it's there, and it has a very specific function. And that's the same thing with the scale. Just the scale has overtaken. It's because it's an easy metric. We know numbers. We're taught numbers when we're like 2, 3 fucking years old. Ooh, this number's higher than that. That number's lower than that. It's just not, we're not taught how to do body fat measurements or caliper measurements accurately. Most people can't do that. Most people, even trainers, most people can't, or they don't know how to do it. They don't have proper tools because the standard calipers are not accurate. You need very expensive high-end calipers, and you need to be a very, very proficient. You need to be very good. Most people don't realize the skill that it takes to get even a remotely accurate body fat measurement with calipers consistently. that you can repeat, that you're going to do this, you have to do it the same way and it's just not accurate in most cases. Harm, Vandermolen, Papa Swolio, thanks for the advice to go to the gym before work. I did that 6 times now, but noticed that my energy levels drop massively around 10 to 11 a.m. Any advice? Are you drinking caffeine, right away? Are you hydrating? Are you taking electrolytes? Are you eating right after you work out? Give us some more context. All right, let's take a question while I think Joe is probably typing some stuff. Let's get a question we got a call from Z. Z, you're on the Sleazecast.
How can I lose weight healthy without getting a yo-yo effect?
That was one of the shortest questions we ever had. And even though it's a repeated question, it's actually very well stated. I like that. How do I lose weight effectively without a yo-yo effect? We just talked about the elimination diet. You want to do an elimination. You want to make sure you're setting proper habits. So if you're new, swolenormousx.com, download the 7 pillars that will give you the framework that you need to be focusing on to fortify to make these positive changes. And an elimination diet is really elimination diet, you're never off of it. You get an elimination diet and that's it. So, but the thing is, an elimination diet, it sounds, oh my God, I'm going to be restricting myself. It is the process of you testing which foods work best for you. So that is the process, the elimination diet, your elimination diet, you stay on it forever, theoretically, which you should, because it's you customizing your nutrition and then you stay on that. And then and everyone knows, and this is what I always talk about. It's not that you do an elimination diet, you're done. No, you're always refining because you might be eating certain foods, but then something bothers you again, like your body changes or something, maybe the quality of something that you're purchasing changes, like, ooh, this is bothering me. But then you know how to test it. You understand the impact of what you eat and the outcome, and you know that you can go to that and say like, hey, I felt a little weird. Oh yeah, I did add this. I did have a little, cheese, or I had a little sugar, when I was at so-and-so or when I was here and I didn't really want to, but I thought about that. Maybe that was the issue. And let me just give it a couple days. It just makes you more aware of the impact of these foods. So it's important. So elimination diet and 7 pillars, proper foundations. You won't yo-yo if you're getting all these different aspects. A lot of people just focus on, if you look at the 7 pillars and you're new here, you look at the nutrition. People focus a little bit on nutrition. They say they're eating healthy, but they're not really eating healthy. They don't understand the impact of quality food, and they don't really train that well, and they don't do anything else. Their community sucks. Their recovery sucks. Their sleep sucks. Their mental health sucks. So they're really doing like partial of 2 pillars, and they wonder why they're not getting results. So start there. Foundations. Joe with the follow-up. Joe says, I'm 233 pounds lost. Jesus fucking Christ. That's ridiculous.
You switch the samples.
Joe's got some different samples going on. Joe's a different breed. 233. I love that. I'm like 205 or so. Joe lost like me plus like 25 fucking pounds. Fucking Christ. I'm at 200. My goal is 199, but I switched to measurements at 220. Smart man. If I hit it, great, but if not, it's cool. It's about composition now. Composition. Yeah. All right. So good. I think we all know though, Joe. I mean, did you have anyone else around you that was losing weight with you that kind of didn't switch or didn't make that psychological change and gain back? Because some people, when they lose a lot of weight, other people, they kind of start with someone else and they fall off. But I think Joe would agree that he can see like how that would be a downside. In other words, you're building muscle. So the thing is, people usually, and here's the thing, if you were, let's say 200 pounds was when Joe remembers feeling good, but then he gained a lot of weight. Well, you're gaining all this weight because you're not exercising. You're not lifting weights. Like that's why you gain so much weight. You're eating a lot of shit food. You're not exercising. So your previous weight, and it's usually like I'm exercising all the time and then I just fucking gained 200 pounds. So you remember your weight without muscle mass, like without, extra, from training. So then you think, okay, I want to get back to 200 pounds. Well, that 200 pounds was you with no, with substandard lean mass. So now you're losing the 233 pounds while you're lifting weights and stuff. That 200 pounds isn't the same type of realistic than it was before because now you have more lean mass. So you have to, when you understand how that works, your goals can be more accurate. Getting back to Harm's question about feeling sluggish at 10 or 11, I drink kefir after working out. I eat 2 or 3 eggs and a steak. My work has shitty coffee, so I only drink that if I absolutely need caffeine. So you're not doing any caffeine. My question was because sometimes people will wake up, drink caffeine, go to work out, but then because you woke up and just had caffeine right away, you're going to have that crash normally. I eat 2 or 3 eggs and a steak. It sounds like you're not getting enough carbohydrates. You might feel a little bit drained. You might not be getting enough carbs. Are you getting in any electrolytes? Are you taking in magnesium? Magnesium, sodium, elements great. Relight is great. But electrolytes you might be lacking. There's nothing wrong with what you're eating. I mean, kefir, I don't know if it's raw kefir or X, Y, and Z, but you might be a little fatigued because of electrolytes, and also you're not getting any carbohydrates after working out. So I would try, I mean, if you have some fruit, throw in some fruit there or something like that. Some other options. I don't know what foods work best for you. All right, let's see. Lacey, Papa, I started drinking my coffee after cardio and sauna. Do you do that in the morning? You know what I've been doing? I've been working out first. Today I'm just gonna do some mobility, and like I'm banged up. I had a fucking beast of a workout. I was doing heavy kettlebell swings yesterday. I did some like lower body mobility, and I decided to do some moderate higher repetition Bulgarian split squats and do some kettlebell swings. I went up to 150 pounds and I am sore. I'm feeling it. Anyway, so I've been lifting first, but I wake up and I'll start training, and I don't even drink coffee first. I drink it after. It's kind of like a reward. And it's great because I wake up and I do cold plunge first. So anyone that does a cold shower or cold plunge first thing in the morning, I'm awake. It's like, it's 40 fucking degrees outside. Even if it's not, the plunge is 39, 40 degrees. So it's cold as shit. I don't feel, I mean, coffee is great afterwards, but I'm in there. I'm like, I'm fucking awake. I'm not sleepy. So it's like, it's a great way to decrease your dependency on coffee or caffeine and stuff. Peter Muchko, down 100 pounds in 9 months. Whoa, dude. Love the videos, bro. Thank you. Congratulations, man. That's fantastic. Holy shit. Harm, I will add some fruits to it and look into the best way to get those electrolytes. Well, those are 2 good products. Where do you live, Harm? I'm not sure if you have access to that where you live, but we just get on Amazon. Element, LMNT is great. Also, Relight, RELYLTE. It's from Redmond Salt, Redmond Agriculture. But anyway, any kind of like good combination of sodium, magnesium, usually magnesium malate or magnesium glycinate, and potassium. Usually, I guess it usually comes in like potassium citrate. But I mean, I go unflavored, but you know, there's different electrolytes might be a concern or an issue. Most people across the world, vitamin D is a huge issue. You might want to do that. Do you supplement with vitamin D in the Netherlands? You guys haven't seen sun in a couple decades, so no, you guys get some sun there, right? A couple days of sun a year. No, so you might vitamin D supplementation and magnesium. That could be a game changer for you. Plus, it could be the restfulness of your sleep, and if you're magnesium deficient, that's going to negatively affect your sleep. So if you have, that could maybe help that as well. You definitely want to find out. I mean, you could change one of these things one at a time to see, but I would just go with, especially vitamin D and magnesium. Pretty much everyone should be supplementing with both. Super inexpensive too. That's the best thing. Some of the most major changes. Well, think about the 7 pillars, right? These aren't a lot of these things are free. Community is free. Making sure your community is locked in is free. You can block out noise. You can read books. I mean, books cost money, but you can, listen to podcasts for free, surround yourself with community, make better choices when you're spending time with friends. Nutrition, not free, but you can make better choices with the money everyone's eating. You might not be able to get every single food that you want, but you can make better choices with what money you're spending on. That's for sure. Training can be free. Body weight exercise, recovery, getting better sleep. That's free. Mobility, yoga, exercise mobility. That's free. mindfulness meditation, free. So these things can all be, of course, gym memberships, and you get my point, but these things can all be done for minimal cost, aside from like the nutrition, which is going to have the most cost of all those things. But it's amazing what some of the simplest things you don't need. The simplest things will make the biggest difference, like vitamin D, dirt cheap, magnesium, very inexpensive, relatively speaking. There you go. Frank, my buddy at work just started taking Relight, and he said after a few days he could feel the difference in energy levels. That's great. Fan-fucking-tastic. By the way, fam, tomorrow, accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time for members. Join us. SwoleNumbersAquis.com. Let's see. And also, papaswolio.com. If you got any Christmas gifts and you got some money and cards from family members and you're like, where can I spend my Christmas cash? papaswolio.com. Use code DailySwole for 10% off. May the Swole be with you. Get some new Luke Swole Walker gear. And of course, cop this brand new fucking design. This is fucking lit. The GTTFG beard logo, and check out all the other holiday designs. If you enjoy holiday apparel, all these things like the reindeer and Gaindolf, or not Gaindolf, but Swoledolf and the Ginger Swole Man, all these things are going to be gone soon because the holidays are going to be wrapping up. So make sure you jump on anything that you are eyeing over there at papaswolio.com in the holiday collection. And of course, this coming Thursday, Swolio release party, Thursday, December the 29th, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Be there for the release party. Be there for the release party. I'm super stoked for some of the new shit we got dropping too. All right, let's take another call. We just did one from Z. And let's do one from... Is this another one? I thought we did one yesterday. Let me see. I feel we did... Unless it's another call in Thrax. Let's see if it's the same.
Oh, what's good, Papa? I
just
had this question in my mind. It was like, do you think the gym can affect your life, like real life outside in a business? Like, does it give you the...
We did that yesterday. Okay, I wasn't sure. Must be a double... Did we do this one? Will... You're on the Sleazecast. Will.
I'm just a 13-year-old kid, and I was just wondering, how do you keep the motivation, man? Like, I want to be the best, but I don't have the motivation. Thank you.
All right, one of my favorites. No one cares. No one cares.
Matt Damon.
Now I say that with all the love and respect, but you don't have to be motivated. It's irrelevant. So you might feel like it some days, you might feel like it, not feel like it other days, but motivation's bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. Irrelevant. Doesn't matter. You need to do what you need to do because it's time to do it. So the motivation is not a factor. That's the least important thing about making progress. In fact, motivation is probably the last thing. It's probably the antithesis to making progress. Okay, so you don't need it. It's not required. Even considering motivation is the fastest way to not get results is to focus on motivation. Okay, phone call. Pablo, last one here, Pablo.
Hey, what's up, Papa Swolio? Pablo from Spain, and I want to ask you, what do you usually say to the people that is beginning in the gym? Because sometimes it's the harder when you maybe break something or have some injury and you are fucked up and you have to begin again in the gym and you can't lift that much weight. Sometimes people can only maybe lift the bar, and it's hard, socially. What would you say to a person that think bad about himself and everything, to have the confidence to stay in the gym?
Cool. First off, Pablo from Spain is like the most stereotypical. I fucking love it. So thank you for the call, Pablo. I love it. Pablo from Spain, as it should be. As it should be. So if you broke something or have an injury, everything's relative. So strength is relative. So one, you got to stop giving a shit about what other people are doing or what other people think. That's the least important thing. Because if you feel bad socially about, like, that's what you're saying is based on your projection of what you think other people, everyone cares about themselves. Everyone in the gym is training themselves. They don't give a fuck about what you're doing. Everyone in the gym thinks they're not big enough. They're not strong enough. No one's focusing on what you're doing. Now, there's relative strength and absolute strength. The most important thing is relative strength. It's relative, your ability. Like everyone here, it doesn't matter where you're starting off, whether you're lifting the bar. I started lifting the bar and then I started putting things on the bar. Why? Because I lifted the bar regularly, because I focused on improving one day at a time and progressively overloading and increasing the volume and the intensity over time. So if you're coming back from an injury, it's very important to make sure that you are doing so appropriately and you're not rushing back into it, because you can easily get re-injured or cause a different injury because of movement compensations and your body kind of avoiding trying to guard that weaker area. And then it can easily lead to an injury in another location. That's very common. You know, you hurt your shoulder, you come back a little early, so you don't realize, but you're twisting when you're pushing, and then you get like some elbow tendonitis because over time, that improper movement pattern from guarding your shoulder injury, you know, you want to build back that confidence. So the confidence, that's within. So meditation, mindfulness, but, you know, really reinforcing the fact that comparing your strength and what you do to other people, that's a losing battle forever. There's always going to be someone bigger and stronger, taller, whatever it is. There's always going to be someone that has more of something that you're trying to achieve. And the perception that because they have what you're trying to achieve, whether it's strength or muscle size or height or money, is the projection or the idea that that's going to bring you happiness, and that person doesn't have issues, because all you're seeing is that one vertical. You're seeing that one thing, and you're like, oh, if I had that, I would be happier. If only I had that, I'd be more confident. If only I had 2 plates on each side of the bar, I would be, you know, that person might have a miserable life. They're just in there lifting so they're strong. So they're a little bit stronger than you. In other words, it's not important. The most important thing is, are you better and doing better than you were yesterday, last week, last month? So the quickest way to not make progress is to focus on what other people are doing. So put some headphones on, put a hat on, you know, jam some fucking heavy metal or whatever you do in Spain, and fucking go smash some steel. You got this, bro. Don't worry about what other people are doing. But make sure you're easing back into it properly. Because if you're coming back off an injury, and you just rush back into it, you know, you don't want to re-injure. So make sure you're ramping up into it. TCAP, I remember I used to eat like shit on Christmas. Today I took my dog for a couple walks for active recovery. How cool is that? Fucking awesome. That's awesome. Big changes. Super sweet. All right. Good calls. Good questions. Anything in closing? We do have an awesome Swole card here. Merry Swoleness. Merry Swoleness. I know. We choose truth over facts. I know, Freddie. We'll give that away shortly. We got a little tainty man here. Aww. Got a few minutes for an extra question or two. See if we got any other Instagram questions. That's all the calls that we have for today. Good calls. I like it. Ido Zarfati. Papa Swolio, when is the last time that you didn't go to the gym? Well, let's define what I mean by going to the fucking gym. I mean by putting in training. So even if you're not going to a gym, like I train at home, outside and in my own gym. So training is wherever you, like the gym is wherever you train. It might be in your living room, moving the coffee table, taking out a couple kettlebells, throwing a mat down. There's your gym. You went to the fucking gym. So people are like, is it okay if I train at home? They say this in the comments, like, fuck, absolutely. So I always like to try to redefine that and make some videos and let people know you don't have to go to a building with fluorescent lights and a membership. You know, you don't have to go to a big, it's just like the gym is just a big room with a lot of machines that you can't afford or you don't have the space for, okay? Because they lease them or they buy them, right? So you can, wherever you train, you might go outside and have a pull-up bar and some rings hanging from a tree. There's your gym. Like that's it. It's just wherever you're training. You throw down a yoga mat, boom, there's your gym. It's wherever you want it. You drop down to a deep squat, boom, your gym's right there in that spot on the sidewalk. It doesn't matter where it is. So, you know, I do something every day. I did some Indian clubs. I did some Indian clubs, just mobility for my wrists. I'm sore as shit, so I'll probably just I did cold plunge, sauna. That's training too. That's recovery, but it's also training. It's, it's mental training. It's brain gains. It's physical. I'm going to do some other stretching and mobility, but today's going to be a light day. Today is a light day, and then tomorrow I'm going to come back in and, get back into more intense. So just because you're going to the gym or you're training at home, whatever you're doing, doesn't mean it has to be an intense workout. So active recovery is training. Active recovery is pillar number 3. It doesn't have to be a heavy squat. It doesn't have to be a heavy bench. It doesn't have to be anything like that. But the concept of no days off, doing something every day, there's always something to do. There's always something that you can do to aid in recovery. Either you're doing progressive overload, or you're doing active recovery that's going to help you progressively overload. That's going to help you recover faster. That way you can crush your next heavier training session. Sean Mack, Papa Swole, on the subject of tattoos, not to be morbid, but when the pups pass, Jesus Christ, would you use, not to be morbid, but when your dogs die, would you use their ashes to place in the ink so you could always have them with you? That's fucking creepy. That's weird. I don't need to put their ashes in my skin. Fuck, man. People do that? Yeah. I think cremation's a waste. I understand the idea. I wanted to ask this yesterday. I would rather bury Papa Swolio in the ground and let her decompose naturally. And cause there's a place in the yard that she always lays between the mango tree and the butterfly garden. And I always look over there. I know someday when she's laying there and I see her getting some sun and sniffing around, someday I'm going to look over there and she's not going to be there. But if she's buried in the ground there, then she'll be taken up by the roots of the butterfly garden. She'll be absorbed into the mango tree. And then that'll be her tree and she'll be a part of it. I think just the ashes, I think it's a waste of, what will, the circle of life. I mean, of course, people used to, the Vikings and a lot of mummifications, that's not the circle of life. So, I mean, energy is neither created nor destroyed. So it is what it is. It's not going anywhere anyway. It's the ashes and it went into the air and release of energy and stuff like that. But I think it's better if it's on the property. I think it's better if it becomes part of the tree and part of, it's oh, she's out here. And when I eat a mango, and then while I eat a mango, and then when I eat a mango, I'll be consuming Papa. Yeah, she'll be part of the carbon and stuff that helps the tree grow, and then she'll have the mangoes, and the mango seeds will, I can bury her, and then if we ever move, I can take one of the mango seeds and grow a mango plant and kind of take part of her with me. So technically, it'll kind of be taking her with me, and she'll be part of the plant, a little tiny piece. Oh, now you're making me sad. I'm gonna have to go rub her belly. I need to go rub her belly very soon. Yeah, I mean, I know people do that, right? You cremate and then you put it in a crystal or a little picture. You can mix it with paint and paint a picture. I think that's I understand why. I understand why people do it. To mix it in ink and then put it in your skin, it's that's kind of hey, I burned you to I burned your body and put you in my skin. But then you could put the lotion on your skin. Viking funeral's pretty badass. It's put me out to sea and light me on fire. That's not a pretty gangster way to go. I mean, if it helps you cope, I mean, there's no wrong way to do it. I mean, it's your dog. You can do it. Sean, I have it in my will that I'm to be cremated and then compress my ashes into 2 diamonds. And my kids get one with my flags. Oh, shit. In a shadow box. I have 1 flag for retirement and I'll get another when I die. That's intense. So they do that. You can compress. It's I guess, obviously, into 2 diamonds. Interesting. Okay, so now my nephew actually ate some of his grandparents' ashes. Okay, let's give away today's Swole card. Jesus Christ. This is getting out of hand quickly. All right, that took a turn. Thank you, Cerny. Appreciate that. Leave it to Cerny for #livershits. Mary Swolemiss, let's give away the Swole card. Falcon, take it away before, I don't know, someone says something else. There we go. Before someone says something. Scroll. None. Scroll. I like that idea. That's fucking on point. I fucking love that idea. I just landed on Booger, and Booger says, "Can Joe have the Swole card? I want it. Don't get me wrong, but dude, #Merry Swolemiss." So, I concur. I think that's a very nice thing, Booger Bubble. And we landed on your comment. So, Joe, you have received an amazing Merry Swolemiss card from Booger Bubble. Congratulations. It's a Swolemiss miracle. So congratulations, Joe and Booger Bubble. Nice round of applause.
I give it a 10. A 10.
It's a Swole fam after all. It's a Swolemiss miracle. So Joe, send us an email to support@swolenormous.com, Swole card 2424. And yeah, Loretta's like, I want to do that too. Well, you all have a chance. You can gift Swole cards. I think that's very nice. I think a very nice thing to do. Send us an email and then your mailing address by the email. So huge shout out to Booger Bubble and congratulations, Joe. Obviously, Joe has lost 1 or 2 humans, depending on how you split that up. Amazing story and great input, considering we're talking a lot about scales and weight loss and 7 Pillars journey. So congratulations, and let's all go have a great rest of your day. Reminder, tomorrow we'll take some soundboard requests. Go enjoy your family, go do some mobility, go make some fucking gains, all those things. And we'll see you tomorrow for the accountability meeting at 12 noon Eastern Time. An excellent act of swoleness. I agree.
We choose truth over facts.
You can be fat and be healthy. I'm sorry, Lizzo, healthier than I will ever be.
Be healthy as Lizzo today, fam. I take that back. Don't do that. It's a joke. Don't do that. Lizzo's on the Kris Kringle diet. Or is it Krispy Kreme? I don't know. I forget.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
That's a good point, Cerny. I appreciate the feedback. Cerny says, please don't eat your family members' ashes, fam. Only the best advice here on the Mancast. Only the best advice. Don't eat your family's ashes. still have my grandparents' ashes. I'm considering it. I'm thinking about it. Just put in some liver. Don't eat your family's ashes.
Great Scott!
I better use my strong.
Ever served in a forward area?
Another example of cake gender would be if someone feels like they have different layers or flavors to their particular gender.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here!
Don't eat your family members.
Emotional damage!
At least when they're alive. I mean, after, it's your choice. Ooh. Got it out. It's hard with the sweatshirt. I almost clipped it. Got it all. Excellent. Excellent. Undefeated with the piano cop. Fam, we'll see you tomorrow for the accountability meeting. Hold on. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. We got a lot of stuff going this week. So 12 noon and then Thursday at 5 p.m. because Friday we have Thursday we have our Swolio release party. Again, swolenormousx.com to join the fam today. Be there for that. Major new releases that we're announcing that we're going to be launching in the new year. Very exciting times. And of course, tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. Wrong way. We've got the merch. Tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, we have our accountability meeting. So I'll see you there. We'll have a live call. We'll take some questions. Very chill because we're going to do the releases on Thursday. So we're going to do some awesome Swole fan posts and we'll kick off the week the best way possible. A lot of you are off for a little bit until the new year. So come hang out with the fam, 12 noon. If you can get your question answered today or you thought of something afterwards, make sure you call in, join in. We have the live chat and stuff for members. You could join from your homepage, but I'll Swole text you ahead of time, let you know. But you could join from your homepage and then join in for the private Q&A and hang out with the fam, 12 noon Eastern time. We'll see you then. Peace, McGee's, Deuce Bagoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard to the paint you. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my